Most people live their lives operating at just 40% of their true potential. Think about that for a moment. 40%. What if you could push past that barrier, tap into the other 60%, and redefine what you believe is possible? This is the story of a man who did exactly that. His name is David Goggins. David Goggins grew up in a world of pain, abuse, racism, poverty, and hardship. By the time he reached adulthood, life had beaten him down. Overweight, working a dead-end job, and filled with self-doubt, he was on the brink of giving up. But one day, something changed. Goggins made a choice. He decided to stop being a victim of his circumstances and start taking complete ownership of his life. Through relentless discipline, mental toughness, and the willingness to endure pain, he transformed himself into a Navy SEAL, an ultra-marathon runner, and one of the toughest men alive. His journey isn't just about physical feats, it's about mental mastery. Goggins didn't just push his body. He reprogrammed his mind to endure, to overcome, to thrive. And in his book, Can't Hurt Me, he shares the strategies that helped him do it, so you can too. In this video, we're diving deep into the life-changing lessons from Can't Hurt Me. You'll learn how to shatter mental barriers, callous your mind, and unleash the untapped potential that's been holding you back. Whether you're chasing fitness goals, career milestones, or simply a better version of yourself, these lessons will change the way you think. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to rewrite your story. Ready to push past your limits? Let's begin. David Goggins didn't start out as a Navy SEAL or a celebrated endurance athlete. In fact, his early life seemed to prepare him for failure rather than success. Born in Buffalo, New York, Goggins grew up in an environment of poverty and abuse. His father, a nightclub owner, was an abusive figure who subjected him and his mother to relentless physical and emotional torment. By the age of 8, Goggins had already experienced more pain than most people face in a lifetime. As if his home life wasn't difficult enough, Goggins faced intense racism in school and his community. He was bullied, marginalized, and constantly reminded of what society believed he couldn't achieve. The trauma weighed heavily on him, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt that followed him into adulthood. By his early 20s, Goggins was stuck in a cycle of despair. He worked a low-paying job as an exterminator, spraying for cockroaches in restaurants. He weighed nearly 300 pounds, was clinically obese, and was drowning in self-hatred. Life seemed hopeless. He was, as he describes it, the weakest man in the room. But then, one day, he reached a breaking point. Watching that documentary, Goggins saw men pushing their bodies and minds beyond limits he thought were possible. Something inside him clicked. For the first time in his life, he felt a spark of possibility. He decided to change, but the path forward wouldn't be easy. He began with small, uncomfortable steps, jogging for just a few minutes each day, cutting out junk food, staring himself in the mirror and writing down every hard truth about his life. This practice, which he called the accountability mirror, became his first tool for transformation. Goggins had a long way to go. To even qualify for Navy SEAL training, he needed to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months, pass rigorous physical tests, and most importantly, overcome the negative voice in his head that told him he wasn't good enough. But Goggins did what most people wouldn't dare to do. He faced the pain, embraced the grind, and transformed himself. Against all odds, he was accepted into Navy SEAL training and went on to complete the infamous Hell Week, not just once, but 3 times due to medical setbacks. His journey from broken to unbreakable didn't stop there. Goggins became an elite endurance athlete, completing over 60 ultra-marathons and setting world records, all while inspiring millions with his story. But his greatest achievement wasn't his physical transformation. It was his mental one. David Goggins turned his pain into power. And through his book, Can't Hurt Me, he shows us how we can do the same. David Goggins' journey wasn't just about physical transformation. It was about unlocking the potential that lies dormant in all of us. His life is a blueprint filled with actionable strategies for building mental toughness and achieving the impossible. In this section, we'll break down the key lessons from Can't Hurt Me and show you how to apply them to your own life. Most people give up when they think they've reached their limit, but Goggins discovered something extraordinary. At that moment, you're only at 40% of your true capacity. He calls this the 40% rule. Your body and mind are capable of far more than you believe. The key is to push past the discomfort. Ignore the voice that says, stop, and keep going. This rule can be applied to every area of your life, whether it's a workout, a career challenge, or personal growth. When you think you're done, dig deeper. You've barely scratched the surface of your potential. Goggins didn't sugarcoat his flaws. He stood in front of what he called the accountability mirror and faced his weaknesses head-on. He wrote down every hard truth about himself. You're fat, you're lazy, you're not living up to your potential. But instead of being defeated, he turned these truths into fuel for change. The accountability mirror is about honesty. What are you avoiding? What goals are you ignoring? Start small, set realistic tasks, and hold yourself accountable every day. This tool isn't just about criticism, it's about growth. Just like calluses form on your hands from repeated effort, you can callous your mind by embracing discomfort. Goggins trained himself to thrive in painful situations by deliberately seeking out challenges. He ran in extreme heat, endured grueling workouts, and pushed his body beyond exhaustion, all to strengthen his mental resilience. The lesson here is simple. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Whether it's waking up earlier, taking on difficult tasks, or pushing through fear, every challenge you face strengthens your mind for the next one. Goggins developed a mindset he calls taking souls. It's about outperforming your adversaries and proving to yourself and to them that you're unstoppable. During SEAL training, Goggins used this mindset to push harder when his instructors expected him to quit. He didn't just survive, he thrived. You can take souls in any situation. At work, outshine expectations. In life, push past limitations. It's not about revenge, it's about showing what you're made of. Goggins believes that pain and suffering are the keys to growth. Instead of avoiding discomfort, he leaned into it, knowing that every struggle was shaping him into a stronger person. Pain became his teacher, and suffering became his path to resilience. The next time you face hardship, don't run from it. Use it. Let it forge you into a better, tougher version of yourself. These lessons aren't easy, but they're life-changing. Goggins turned his pain into power, his doubt into discipline, and his limitations into limitless potential. And you can too. David Goggins didn't write Can't Hurt Me just to share his story. He wrote it to show that anyone, no matter their circumstances, can achieve extraordinary things. But how do you take his lessons and apply them to your own life? Start with honesty. Take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself, where am I falling short? What do I need to improve? Write these truths down and turn them into actionable steps. If you want to get in shape, your first goal might be as simple as walking for 20 minutes every day. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. When you feel like giving up, whether it's at work, in the gym, or in life, remember the 40% rule. You have more in the tank than you think. The next time you're tempted to quit, ask yourself, what would happen if I push just a little bit further? Every time you stretch your limits, you redefine them. You don't have to climb a mountain on day one. Start with small challenges that push you out of your comfort zone. Take a cold shower, commit to a challenging task at work, or face a fear you've been avoiding. Each time you embrace discomfort, you strengthen your mental resilience. Taking souls isn't about revenge. It's about proving to yourself that you can outperform even when the odds are against you. At work, go above and beyond. In a competition, push harder when others are slowing down. When you refuse to quit, you inspire yourself and everyone around you. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the path to growth. Whether it's physical pain, emotional challenges, or setbacks in life, lean into them. Goggins teaches us that every struggle is an opportunity to become tougher, wiser, and more capable. The more you embrace pain, the less it controls you. You don't have to be an ultra-marathon runner or a Navy SEAL to apply these lessons. Start where you are with what you have. The journey to becoming your best self isn't easy, but it's worth it. Take one step today and let that step lead to another. Before you know it, you'll be unrecognizable to the person you once were. We all have excuses. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. I'm not built for this. David Goggins had every reason to make those same excuses. Poverty, abuse, obesity, and failure surrounded him. But he chose to fight back. And the truth is, if you want to succeed, you need to overcome your own excuses too. One of the most common excuses is, I don't have time, but the reality is, we make time for what's important. Goggins worked a grueling job, but he found time to train by cutting out distractions. Start by auditing your day. How much time do you spend on social media or watching TV? Reclaim that time for something that matters, like working out, learning a new skill, or building your dreams. We all feel tired, but the difference between winners and quitters is how they respond to fatigue. Goggins didn't wait for motivation. He relied on discipline. Instead of saying, I'm too tired, ask yourself, what can I accomplish today, even if I'm tired? Show up anyway. You'll be amazed at what you can do when you push through. Fear holds us back more than anything else. Goggins faced fear at every stage of his journey, from Navy SEAL training to running 100 miles on broken legs. But he taught himself to reframe fear as an opportunity. The next time fear creeps in, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? More often than not, the answer is far less scary than you think. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one small habit at a time. Start by setting a simple, non-negotiable goal, a 10-minute workout, reading a chapter of a book, or writing in a journal. The key is consistency. Show up every day, no matter how you feel. Over time, these small habits will compound into unstoppable discipline. Goggins didn't become disciplined overnight. He built it through relentless effort, turning every day into a chance to get stronger. Remember, you don't have to feel motivated. You just have to take action. Discipline will carry you when motivation fades. Excuses are easy, but greatness requires effort. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. Start now. Push through the excuses, and you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. Knowledge without action is meaningless. You can listen to every motivational speech, read every self-help book, and even watch this entire video. But if you don't act on what you've learned, nothing will change. David Goggins didn't just dream about transformation. He made it happen. And so can you. The first step to action is clarity. Goggins used his accountability mirror to identify what needed to change and set specific goals to make it happen. Write down what you want to achieve. Be precise. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, say, I want to run 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Clear goals lead to focused action. It's tempting to aim for massive changes overnight, but that's a recipe for burnout. Start small. If you're new to working out, don't try to run a marathon tomorrow. Run 1 mile today. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates lasting change. Goggins tracked every step of his journey. From the miles he ran to the hours he studied. Progress is powerful. It reminds you how far you've come and keeps you focused on what's next. Use a journal, an app, or even sticky notes on a mirror. Whatever method you choose, track your progress and celebrate small wins along the way. Resistance will show up, whether it's physical exhaustion, fear of failure, or the voice in your head telling you to quit. This is where Goggins' 40% rule comes into play. When you think you're done, you're not. Push a little further, and you'll prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles will come your way. The key is to adapt without losing sight of your ultimate goal. If one path doesn't work, find another. Goggins constantly adjusted his approach from his SEAL training to his ultramarathons. Flexibility isn't failure, it's a strategy for success. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have it all figured out. What matters is that you start. Take one step today, whether it's writing down your goals, doing a quick workout, or facing a fear you've been avoiding. Action creates momentum, and momentum leads to transformation. You have everything you need to begin. The question is, will you take action? Start now and show yourself what's possible.